Hello, welcome back to another video from All American Arts. My name's Stuart. Today I'm going to show you how to make more of a living with your vinyl cutter. I know it's possible to just do decals and stuff if you're doing commercial vehicles all the time, but it's hard from a little shop to do that. So I'll show you how I make a lot more money, and that's making wooden signs. If you don't know a lot about woodworking, you can buy round blanks and stuff right from Home Depot or Menards, so you don't really have to cut anything. You can buy edge glued boards that are all glued together and stuff, so you don't really have to do any woodworking if you don't want to. I do a lot of my own boards, cutting and stuff like that, so you don't really have to, but you can. As you can see right here, my main seller is these wooden flags. Wouldn't be able to do them as cool without a vinyl cutter. Obviously you can see I got one with the Star Spangled Banner, one with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll show you this one here I'm doing for United Steelworkers. I do a lot of wooden signs, and that's one way I make a lot more money with my vinyl cutter. Kind of show you around the room here a lot of things that I do. Like these, they're all, I make stencils with my vinyl cutter, stick them on a piece of wood and paint it. What you can also do with your vinyl cutter, cut out shapes, trace them, and then cut it out of wood. Like that's Dakota County, the county I live in. Also another one that I cut out, all you do is find an outline of Minnesota, put it in your vinyl cutter. This one's made with hockey sticks. More stenciled signs. And this one here, I cut out a decal, stuck it on here, and then I engraved it with a router. A few other signs that I made stencils with and painted on a piece of wood. This one's decals on a glass cutting board. And this one here is also stenciled out. Just type in all the font or all the words that you want, cut it out and stick it on there and spray paint it. That's what I'm going to show you in this video, how to stencil it and paint it on a piece of wood the best way. A few tips and tricks I've learned. I have messed up on a lot of them, and now I know all the best ways to do it. So I'll show you all that, so you don't have to go through all the headaches. And here's another thing here. These are glass jars I put decals on, and then just sprayed frosted glass paint over it. It says Joy. You might be hard to see in the camera, but there's a lot of different things you can do with your vinyl cutter other than just making decals. Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you a couple different ones. I'll make two of them for you. This is a round blank that I bought right from Menards. And then this one here I cut. It's a piece of plywood, 3/8 thick or so. So this is dark walnut stain. That's a black cherry stain. I'm sure you guys all know how to stain wood. So I'm not going to show you that. I already got it stained. I stained it a few days ago. So we're going to do one just like this on this piece of wood. Customer wanted a couple that looked like this and one different one. And then on the round one, it's going to be an anniversary present, monogram sign with a big initial in the middle and an anniversary date and stuff around the outside, and then the last name across the middle. So I'll show you how to design that on the computer, stick it on there, and the best way is to paint it. Alright, so I'm using Vinyl Master. I'm going to be cutting with a US cutter, laser 2. So what I'll do for this first one here that says we're all here, but because we're not all there, we're just going to click on the text, type that in, if I could spell. And just go ahead and get that all to size. As you see in the other one, I did because we're not all there, a little bit smaller. We had the we're all here on top. And as you're sizing this bottom one here, it shows you a little line to line it up with the top. So that's an easy way to do that. So now that's all lined up. I'm going to grab both of them here, find a font, and then change it from the other one that I did, but I still want kind of a wacky font. Goes with the saying. So just go scroll through your fonts, find one that you like. Kind of liking that one there. So we got that. Now you just go ahead and measure your board. My board's 18 by 7.5, so I'm going to come up to here, press the unlock, otherwise it's going to size it to keep it proportionate. So I'll go 18, actually a little bit smaller than that, go 17.5, give me some wiggle room on the board. Then by 7. So we got that font there. Now I'm going to go ahead and size my page to my vinyl size, which is 24 inches. So you click on the page itself, come up here, press 24. So now it shows you what your page size is. I didn't have that all tight up next to that one, so I'm going to actually resize that again. As you can see, I moved it closer. Now it's only 5.7, so I'm going to bring that back to 7 inches. Alright, so we got that one there. Now for the circle one, I'm going to go ahead and just go over here to the shapes, grab a circle, just make any circle for now. This one we're going to want to lock, put the lock button on, and that will keep it a exact circle. Type in 24 inches because it's a 2-foot circle. That'll give me my background so I know what I'm kind of working with here. So that's my piece of wood itself. Now what you do is you just last name is Mahold. So what I'm going to do is type that in. Drag that a little bit better. Just leave it off of there for now because we're going to have to make it all a different color so we can see it on the black piece of wood. Click on the text again. I'm going to do a big M in the middle. So we got that there. Alright, so I'm going to type in Mr. and Mrs. So that's going to go on the top of the circle. And then the date, anniversary date, October 6th, 2012. I'm going to select all that, go down here to Object, Order. Normally you'd bring it to front, but it already is, so I don't have to worry about that. That's just going to make it so when I drag it over this circle here, it's not behind it and I can't see it. But I am going to select it all, go to a little bit lighter color, so when I drag it over I can see it. Don't want it white because then it's going to disappear in the background here. So what you go through, find all the font that you want. I'll probably speed it up in the video because you don't want them to watch me try to find the fonts. Alright, now that I got my fonts here, I'm going to start to get everything to size. Like I said, it's going to have a big M in the middle. That's going to be a different color than all the other stuff. So just kind of get that where you want it. Put it in the middle. As you can see, these dots here kind of help you line it up in the circle itself. So that's going to be good there. Just going to change all this other stuff to a different color. Last name is going to be going across the middle of this. And then bring that to front by going down here, going to Order, bring to front. As you can see, the dots are putting it in the middle of the circle again here. Now with the Mr. and Mrs., we're going to have to bend it to go with the circle. Same with the date. So just get that sorted to size here. Put it in the middle of the circle here. Same with the date. As you can see, I just clicked on the circle and moved it. We're going to go up here to undo. You want to get this to size and in the middle before you try to bend it. Alright, now that we got it to size, I'm going to go over to distortion here. We're going to click on flag. Then we can pick up both the sides here. Bring it to the shape of the circle. Bring the middles down. Might be hard to see on the camera itself, but it gives you a little line, so you can line that right up with the bottom of the circle. So that looks good there. Go up here and do the same thing with the Mr. and Mrs. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger before I do that. We'll go down to distortion again, flag, and just start bending it to the circle. You can't resize it. Well, you can shrink it and stuff, but it's better if it's to size before you bend it. Otherwise, when you move it, it's gonna mess it all up. As you can see, it just stretches it out, doesn't actually change the bend. So I'll put that back where it was. When I paint this, the big M is going to be blue, and the rest of the stuff is going to be white. You can put that to actual color now that you got it off the white background. So that's what it's going to look like on our stained piece of wood. So we got our two signs there. I'm going to go make my vinyl size a little bit bigger. and then move that one to the side here. I'm going to cut this one by itself because I'm going to use some green vinyl as my stencil material here. Actually, I'll just do them both. So I'm going to select all the white here first, drag that over. As you can see, you can't really see it now, so I'm going to bring it back to black. I'll grab the M, put that down here. If you want to, you could throw some extra decals in here so you're not wasting all this space, but I'm gonna do it just so I don't have to worry about throwing tape over them empty spots that I have to cut out. If you do put decals in there, when you go to paint it, you're gonna be cutting that square out where your decal is right here, so you're gonna have to just put tape over that so when you paint it, it doesn't get on that piece that's missing. So that's all my stencils I need there. So we'll go ahead, put the vinyl in the vinyl cutter, get that cut out. Alright, now that you got that all cut out up with the vinyl cutter, you gotta remember that you're gonna want the negative instead of doing it like a normal decal. So you're gonna want to pick out the stuff you would normally save if you're doing a normal decal. Alright, so we got all that weeded out. We're just going to go ahead and separate all the pieces. So that's going to be from the little sign there. I want to keep this all as one, because it's all straight on the computer where it should be. And we're going to have to paint we're going to be painting the M on the circle first, because that's going to be our background. It's going to be blue. So just line up the wood grain how you want it. We'll throw that on there like that, and then kind of trim it a little bit closer, just so I can line it up better on the circle. And then I'll just use tape to tape off all the excess. So throw that on there like that. Grab your tape measure. Measure down and up. Get it in the center as best as we can. So we got 6 inches there. Go from here. You can also use something, a straight edge, to go across your letter here. So it'll come down just 1/4 inch. So now we got 6 1/4 and 6 1/4. We got 2 1/4 there, 2 1/2 there, so come over 1/8 inch. sides here. We'll just grab our tape. I like to use painter's tape. Just double checking, making sure I'm still good with the grain of the wood here, as best as I can. I'll lock it down. Grab a pencil. What I'm going to do is just mark out these corners here. Just a little faint line. So when I peel this off, put the transfer paper on, and then peel it off, I can stick it right on there. I know exactly where the edge of the vinyl should be. Save your tape because you can use it again here shortly. Then with your transfer paper, go ahead and stick that over it. Work it on there real good. If you save all your backing paper, you can use that to mask off all the other areas that are going to be exposed. So now that I got my pencil mark here, let's go ahead and line that up. Right on there. Bring it down here. Rotate it where you need it. Rub it down real good. Remember, when you're working with wood, it's not the stickiest surface like glass and other stuff that you normally stick vinyl to. So just get it started, hold it down, slowly pull off your transfer paper. You can also re-lift it up and work it after. You just don't want to deal with trying to transfer it all over without transfer paper. And these little wrinkles on the outside don't really matter as long as you got good contact right around the letter itself. You just want to go through and rub that all down. So go over your edge a couple times, so you don't want your paint to run through that. Make sure your edge is nice and stuck down. Then you can take your backing paper. This will save you some tape. Go ahead and stick that down there. That over there. Lock it down. And tape down all the other areas that are showing. You want to make sure you tape it all the way. Even if you're really careful on where you're spraying it, you're still going to get a little mist everywhere. Then it pretty much ruins your piece. If you got mist on the side. Plus tape ain't that expensive. So kind of even work it around the edge all the way. Rub this down one more time. And that one's good to paint there. Like I said, that's going to be blue. And then we're going to go over it with all the other stuff with white. So same thing here. Throw your transfer paper on there. This is the smallest transfer paper I got right now, so I'm gonna use this. You can also use your transfer tape to mask all your excess areas off too. So So when you're doing stuff with plywood, there is little hairs and stuff in the wood itself that will pull off, and it'll pull the stain with it and everything. So what I like to do is just stick the vinyl to my shirt a couple times. It'll pull some lint off and make it a little bit less sticky. So just find anything with a little bit of lint on it. You can stick it to your legs or whatever. Just make it a little bit less sticky. Otherwise you will pull off the stain. It'll be little white hairs showing through. And something like this, I just use my fingers to line it up on the wood. So I got the same distance on each side. Kind of eyeball it there. Put one finger on top, one finger on the bottom. Kind of feel where it is. I come down just a little bit here. Back over this way. It's a little bit harder. Trying to eyeball it. So once you get it sort of where you think you should be, throw your tape measure on there. Got 1.25 inches there. Perfect 1.25 inches there. Got 1.1 inches. And 1.1 inches. That'll work for me. Go ahead and rub it all down. This one's going to be a little bit harder to get the transfer paper off, but it's just something you got to deal with. Especially with me getting lint on the back so it's not as sticky. It's better than ruining the sign. You just got to fight it a little bit to get the transfer paper off. So just pull nice and easy, holding all the previous letters down. So you also don't want to stretch it out too much. I also have a sign I tried to rush on a little too much. I put the paint on a little too thick, and I also didn't make it less sticky before I put it on here, so that it pulled off the stain. I'll show you that one so you know what I mean. Trying to save you guys some headache. I've gone through some learning curves Trying to figure all this out. Everything's different, all the woods are different. Like that circle, it's all solid wood, so you don't really gotta worry about pulling off little hairs of the wood. It also helps sanding the plywood a little bit. So it's got less to grab onto. So that's that. Go ahead and work it all down around each letter. You don't want it raised up anywhere. It also doesn't help when you got dog hair on it. And again, I crumpled up my transfer tape before I thought about using it to mask this off, but it's one strip of tape down each side here. Can even fold it all over. Protect the edges from the paint. And this one's all good to go paint now too. So I'll show you that sign that I messed up on here quick, and then we'll go out in the garage and get these painted up. Alright, so this is the one I messed up on here. As you can see here, the lighter color showing. That's just because the vinyl is a little too sticky. It's a 3/4 inch plywood. Vinyl's sticky, and once you go to peel it off, it pulls the wood fibers out with it, and it shows the original wood color. Kind of ruins the sign, so I didn't even bother pulling the rest of the vinyl off of this one. Then also, I was in a hurry, so I was putting the paint on a little thick. I'm sure you can see it was bleeding through a little bit. It's not completely horrible, but still not something I'd put my name on, so that one's pretty much garbage. Sand it all down and try again. But yeah, that's why I stick it to my sweatshirt or shirt, get a little bit of the adhesive off of there. And with the paint, you're going to want to put it on nice and thin. Do like 3 thin layers instead of trying to cake it on there all in one, because that's how you get it to bleed through. But I'll take you out there and we'll paint those two up and show you how to do that. Alright, so we're out here in my garage. I got it decently warm out here. Just go through and rub it all down one more time. Make sure I got everything around the edges good. I got one little piece showing here. I'll put some tape on. So like I said, do nice thin layers. I usually do like 3 layers. I'm just using Rust-Oleum. So this one here, you're going to want to hold it right over the top. Don't go at an angle, just in case a piece is lifted a little bit. It's going to tuck underneath if you're going at an angle. So with this first layer, just hold it right above it. Go straight down on it. Do a nice thin mist. Back and forth. As you go that way, off that side, just let off. Go all the way to the end and let off. Don't go back and forth like this on it. So just go like that. Nice thin little mist over it. Usually takes about 15 minutes to dry to the touch. And then you can put another layer on it. Like I said, this one's going to be blue. Same thing, right over the top. Go all the way to one way. Come back. And my tip's a little clogged up on this. I gotta clean that out here quick. Let's use my air hose. Alright. I'd probably grab a different can on the next layer here. This one doesn't want to work too well at straight down angle. But I know this vinyl stuck down pretty good, so get a little mist on that. Let those sit for 15 minutes, and then we'll come out here and do another one. Alright, we're back. It's been probably a little bit longer than 15 minutes, but it's dry to the touch. So I'm going to go ahead and put another layer on there. Same thing, we don't want to put too much on still. If you put it on too thick, it still will run, but let's go ahead and put another thin mist on there. And we should just need one more on there. Got a different can of blue this time. Should work a little bit better. Alright, we'll let that sit again for 15 minutes. Come back, put one more on. And then this one should be done, and we'll be able to let that sit for probably a good 45 minutes before we go and put more vinyl over the top of it. We gotta let that one sit for a little bit longer because, like I said, we gotta do the white over top, and the vinyl will pull the blue off if you don't wait a little bit longer. So I'll be back with you in 15 minutes here, and we'll do another layer, and then we'll pull the vinyl off. Alright, so we're back for one more layer here. As you can see, it's pretty much completely covered. At least deepen the color a little bit here. Now we'll let that one dry for 15 minutes again. We'll pull the vinyl off, and that one will be pretty much done. We'll let it dry for a little bit longer after that. Put some clear coat on it. Sure, I don't have to show you guys that though. If you were to use just vinyl and put it on a piece of wood, don't use spray clear because that's going to shrivel up the vinyl. If you were to do it that way, just get spray poly or just wipe on poly and you can clear coat it that way. But yeah, don't use Rust-Oleum clear or any other kind of spray clear. You gotta use polyurethane if you're gonna use vinyl stickers on a piece of wood. Otherwise it'll just shrivel up the vinyl. It won't work at all. I've learned my mistake on that too. So we got a nice deep blue on there now. We'll let that one dry for a good 45 minutes. We'll pull the vinyl off and then we can stick the other vinyl over top of it. Alright, so we're back. It's been probably about an hour. I decided to do some video editing while I was waiting. Now I can do them both at the same time. So we're going to pull the vinyl off of this. Just pulling it nice and easy. It also helps if you pull it with the wood grain, not against it. As you can see, I got most of it off there. Grab these few little pieces. Use your knife to grab the inner parts. And there you go. Just made a sign you could easily sell for 20 bucks. Do a whole bunch of them at the same time and make quite a bit of money. Alright, so there's the M. I already got the transfer tape on the other piece, so we'll go ahead and throw that on here. Like I said, I'm just going to stick this to myself a couple times. And we'll throw it on here. As long as you throw it on there straight, should be all right. And we'll just rub that down, pull the transfer paper off, and do our 3 coats of paint again. And then that one's all set to go. Thanks for watching another video. I hope I helped out the people that already have vinyl cutters and just been making decals. Hope I showed you another way that you can make a little bit more money. For those of you that don't have a vinyl cutter yet, kind of shows you another reason to get one. But thanks again for watching. Until next time, thank you.